Hello and welcome to the Feedback Show. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
How are you doing today?
I'm well done. Well, I'm very well. Very well.
Full voice?
Well, not quite. It's still a bit, husky.
Bit husky.
Yeah.
We won't have you talking for too long today then.
No. I'll be short and sharp and sweet.
Fantastic. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is another feedback show where we take in artwork sent to us by you, our members, and then we offer some advice and tips on areas that you wish to improve on. And as always, this is a service that is included for members of our website. Okay, so first one's from Sylvie. Sylvie's done our Border Collie course, which is also a free course on YouTube if you haven't checked it out already. Sylvie says, "Hello, I would like advice for the fur because I have difficulties with the hair. And I find my drawing very bland. Would you be able to help on this area? Thanks."
I certainly will. Can I point a couple of things out though, first of all? The area on the right above the ear, between the left, this ear, right
Yes,
ear,
here, yeah.
and the eye.
Yeah.
You see that ear has been extended down. Not quite sure why and what you needed to do, but that needs to be corrected before you start.
So that needs to be erased.
Yes, it does.
That area, yeah.
Yeah, follow the reference picture there. It would look a little odd if you left it like that, so I definitely would do that straight away. That would make a big difference to the first impact that you get with the animal. Now, as far as fur is concerned, black fur is okay. The white fur, though, and this always presents a little difficulty. I see what you've done. You put the grey in and you put the colours in that I suggested, but not quite enough. You've got to be a bit bolder. So go in with the medium grey. I'm not sure what it was, whether it was 273 or 233, but whatever it was, it would be the medium grey. Just put that in and don't put any light back in again. Just use, if you've got a colour shaper, just use the colour shaper just to blend that. So it looks more like the one.
A bit more contrast.
You do need more contrast. It's just as flat as a pancake at the moment. And these, the area beneath that bib, there, that needs to be just a little stronger. Not much, just a little, because then it pushes the bib away.
I see, yeah. It gives a bit more depth,
yeah,
3D.
That's right. It recesses that bottom area. And that's all right. I mean, the nose is really good. We've done a good job of that. A little bit wide, but who's going to be fussy about that? The only other thing I would say that you need to look at here is the eyes. The white in the eye is a bit too much. You need to cut that down a bit. If you look at mine,
show a bit more pupil.
That's right. Just a little bit more, just all these tiny little tweaks make such a difference.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic job. Excellent. Well done, Sylvie. Look forward to seeing more of your pictures. I hope that's helped. Okay, let's get rid of us for a second. This is a couple of pictures from Paul. I've been following your online courses for nearly 3 months now and I've enjoyed it immensely. I've tried many of your pictures and found each one challenging and learnt a lot. I've attached some of the work that I would love to have some constructive feedback on them. So we've got the thirsty lioness picture in the top left, and then one of Paul's own pictures that he's done from a black and white photo on the right.
What should we do with the lioness first?
Yeah.
Very good. The first time I saw that, I thought, wow, you really got that. A couple of small things, though. Just above the tongue on the right-hand side, where between the nose, if you look at that, you see how that seems to melt in the background. And if you look at mine, you'll see that what I've done is created a much stronger area there so that the white stands out better.
Right, I see.
You see what I mean? So you really need to do that. And the shape is slightly out. You probably wouldn't have seen that because it's too light. But had it been as dark as mine, you'd have said, oh, I can see the shape a little bit different there. And these are small things that help you as well as visually. And the other small thing, again, I'm being picky here. Whenever you get water, it lays flat, folks, right? It always lays flat and it doesn't go uphill. But your water goes uphill on the left-hand side.
Do you mean around here?
That's right.
Or around here?
Yeah, just slightly. I know you think I'm being picky, and I am, but that needs to be straightened out. It's a small thing, but it does give the wrong illusion to a picture. That's only a small thing, but you know, if you make those small adjustments, then it's a very good picture.
But it's a testament, really, to how good the picture is. If you go and find the small bits, you know, it is. Everyone can see that that is a fabulous picture. So these are only minor details, aren't they?
Yeah, and just by way of a final on the lioness, the nose itself, above the nose, you've got a little white bit above the nose, and you see on yours it stands out a bit too much. If you look at mine, it melts into the fur a bit more. It gives a false illusion. You look at, you think, that funny old nose that lion's got. You see what I mean? It kind of doesn't come across as it should do. But if you look at mine, you'll see it melts in much, much better.
So is that just a case of using the colour shaper to blend in?
Or put a little bit more colour, bring some of the colour down, yeah. That's all you've got to do.
Okay.
All of these things are small things. But now this is very ambitious, and congratulations on it. That's really, really good. It's really hard to change black and white into colour. But I think you've done a great job of it. There's not much I can tell you, except you could probably be a little bit more, what can I say, a little bit stronger with your tones. You see, if you look at the black and white, now the beauty of black and white is you get a really strong colour and a really strong tone. And well, you've weakened that quite a lot on yours, and it may be deliberate, and if that's the case, well done you. But I think you could have been a little stronger, following the contrast of the picture.
So in this area, the shadowy areas, do you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, just a bit darker.
I can see what you've done. You've tried to make it look, you know, a little bit more presentable, and okay. But when you're following a picture, you're being guided by that picture, and really you do need to have a little bit more strength in that. But, you know, all credit to you. It's really good.
Fantastic. Well done, Paul. That's two really ambitious pictures. I can see why you're really pleased with them. Excellent. Okay. Another Paul. I don't know if this is the same Paul. I can't remember now. Either way. Hello, Stephen and Colin. I present to you feedback my latest dog portrait. Produced this picture with a different paper than I normally use. This is the Canson Meton Moonstone shade, and it seems to be a bit stronger than the ombre. It's probably due to the 50% cotton content. I'm using this because I'm still too heavy-handed and keep crushing the ombre, but I think I'm getting better and using a very light touch, I think. What a fabulous tutorial. I found the body and the muzzle most difficult, followed by the background. This is something I've always had trouble with, and I don't know why. I think I overwork it most of the time and totally ruin it. Many thanks to you both. Paul?
Well, it's good representation. I think you've done very well. The grey colour paper works well with it, and it would do if you've got a grey animal. So that works well. And I think you're being a bit hard on yourself as far as the fur is concerned on the body. I know it's not the same as mine, but this comes really with overworking. If you're prone to overworking, you're not going to get that effect that I've got, because you've already hammered the old paper, hammered the colour into the paper. You've got to be a little bit more, bit lighter with your touch, and you know that anyway, so that would be obvious to you. I don't think the muzzle's not bad. Again, contrast, colour would be better. Mine's got more colour in it than yours has. But that's something that can be corrected. The black nose is a little bit too heavy. Again, you may have well have just gone a bit overboard with your blacks there. But you see mine's just a little softer. One of the tips I can give you and everybody else is rather than put 1 or 2 or 3 strokes on, you know, heavy strokes, put 20 if necessary. You'll see me do it. You'll just see me just stroke it in very carefully, and then you gradually work your way down to the colour that I've got there. But if you put 2 or 3 heavy strokes on, bang, you've got what you've got there.
So lighter.
You can't get it off. Well, you can, but it's not easy to get off.
Well, you could use a putty eraser, can you?
But by then, the damage has probably been done, because to achieve that blackness,
it's got to be
hammered it in, you see.
Right, okay.
It's all touch, really. But the thing I really want to mention is the background. My background is quite hard to do that background, and I don't even know how I arrived at that, really. I just thought it was pretty unattractive, so I think you've done a pretty good job considering that's a really hard thing to do. It's made a little harder for you because you're using the grey background. I was using the ombre there, so I had a lighter tone to work with.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, the grey is good for the animal, but it's trickier for the background.
That's right. Well, it isn't if you put a light grey on first, you see, or I wouldn't put a white on, but you could put a very light grey on there, then you could put the colours into the light grey.
Would and I don't know if Paul has used soft pastel, but would some brighter soft pastels bring out some of bring a bit more vibrancy to that?
Yeah, could be something, but that's hard to use. So
yeah, that's.
I probably wouldn't go down that road unless you're used to it, Steve. You know, soft pastels are a killer. But yes, it would be. But no, the answer to that would have been to put a lighter background on to start off with. Could even put an ivory on that. That would have worked on the grey, and that would have given you a starting point for the lighter colours on the other guy. So if you're going to follow me, this is one of the problems we've had with grey paper. You know, this is why I don't use the greys or the darker colours. I prefer to make the colour, you know, to bring the colour strength in. It doesn't make a lot of difference. It may have made a slight difference to if you look at the brightness of my picture and yours, you could look at it that grey paper has given you a slight disadvantage over mine, which was on a light sand. See what I mean? Small things like that.
Yeah, it's a valid point. Okay, well done, Paul, and you know, good luck with the overworking. I think that's just experience.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, practice and everything. I mean, you know, you're getting there, and you're doing really good work. So, congratulations. Okay, it was one from Gerard. A bit of help here. Hi, Colin and Steve. Thanks so much for the advice regarding the Northern Lights. I'm putting further any attempts on hold while I try these portraits. The gentleman, I've tied up the silver hair and now have him looking forward, I think. Although not entirely perfect, that it came out just fine. Any advice would be appreciated. So let's look at these eyes.
Where do I start? It's really hard to change what you see there. You could get one right, you won't get the other one right.
Because looks like to the left of the camera lens, doesn't it? It looks like he's looking slightly off to the left.
And he's doing the same thing on the other picture, even though you think you've corrected it, you haven't. It's still looking more or less in the same direction. And if I were you, I would stick to that, because to change that, you could ruin the whole thing, ruin the picture. I wouldn't do that. So forget that. You've done the best job you can under the circumstances. Maybe, you know, a portrait's hard. Portraits work very hard. But you've seen how I can do it. Just follow that. Follow the advice I give you. And I give you, you know, when I use my hand across the eyes, you can check that. When you get one right, you can then work the other one.
Check they're both looking the same.
That's right. I wouldn't do it to this one. You'll spoil it if you do. The silver hair, well, that's difficult because you've been too light with it. I can understand you're looking at silver, so why would you put dark on? But if you look at his hair, it's a lot darker than yours is. If you look at the hair,
sort of around the edges.
Yeah, all around there. Yeah, that's a lot darker than you've got it. And also, there's an ochre in there. Now, you can say, well, yeah, there's no ochre. You don't have ochre in silver hair. Well, you do on that picture. Now, if you're working from a picture, a photograph, you've got to follow the photograph. You can't make your own mind up. You can't change that. Well, you can, but it doesn't work very well.
Because the picture looks like it's an older picture.
It is.
So I think that has affected the tone of the thing. And again, you've got to go with what you see.
It was a flash as well. That was a flash, which is a flash into the eye.
Right.
Well. Now you get I've always said flash is awful. To try to do a picture from a flash photograph.
It's got a bit of red eye from the flash in the right eye there, and that makes it even more tricky, isn't it?
Oh yeah. No, you've done a pretty good job considering the
photo.
I wouldn't have done the photo. I wouldn't have done the picture.
What ochre you said about the ochre in the hair? What one would you pick?
I would
if you
probably I would have used a little bit of 183 possibly, but you've got to be careful because that would make it yellow. You don't want to make it yellow. Just a little touch. very finesse. You've just got to break, and you've got to put the greys on as well. It's got to be a little bit of ochre, a little bit more grey, a little bit of ochre, and keep to the warmer colours. Don't go down the bluey routes, otherwise you'll have green hair.
Do you know what? Really randomly, it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
You know when you see that white and that's got ochre in it and dark.
Sorry?
And dark. I know it's a dog and this is a man, but
same principle.
It's the fact that when you look at the silver hair, it's not silver, it's got ochres and all these other tones in it as well.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. The other thing I would have liked to have seen there is a little bit more contrast between the colour. You've made it basically one colour all over with just a few points of dark, but if you look at the picture very carefully, you'll see there are subtle tones in there which you could have used, should have used. And I'd have put a shirt on him.
Yeah.
You know, a head sticking out of a middle of a picture.
Yeah, we've added a shirt.
Even if you just added the shirt and then just faded it in, it just adds a little bit more to the picture. That's only my opinion. It's what I would have done.
Okay. Well done, Gerard. There's some good tips there. I hope that helps. Okay, next one from Lindy. Hi Colin, could you have a look at the skin tones? I have gone too dark. Have I gone too dark, or should I add more pink all over? It seems to be too yellow. I'm using the colours in the pit pastels that you recommend in the course.
Well, you haven't gone too dark. Well, you have with the arm, I'm afraid. The arm, poor lady's got a bit sunburnt on the arm there.
Over there is a bit dark.
Yeah, that really would have to be taken off. You wouldn't be able to water that. That would have to be taken off. Putty rubber, just putty rubber, take it off. And when you've taken it off, add a little bit of the yellow ochre that I used in it. That would have made a difference there. And I would have used a bit more pink. Yes, you're quite right. A little bit more pink. Actually, if you look at the area there, just that sort of area generally, that's not far off the colour that I've got. Be careful though. There's a line there. Can you see that line there, Steve?
Yeah.
Now where is that on my picture? It isn't. It needs to be blended more. You need to blend that out a bit more. Never put a hard line in because it looks as though it's a crease or a fold.
Is that like the same there?
It's not so bad there because it's a bit more diffused, but you're right. Yes, that could have been.
Because there is a light section there. It just maybe there needs to be more blended. Follow,
if you haven't, you've got our, I presume, yes, you should be a member because you wouldn't be. There's lots of portraits. We've got a new portrait that's just come out, and that shows you the kind of thing I'm talking about. On the member site, the new portrait on the member site. That will give you a really good idea of how I work my colours and tones and don't put hard lines
so
there.
they blend them into...
On the other hand, you've got a hard line where the spine runs down there, and you haven't got that, so you haven't put it in. It should be there.
Well, like there, you mean?
Just a little touch of... It needs to have all the colours, the pinks and the ochres and everything. I can't remember what tone I used there. I can't remember. Anyway, whatever it was, the darker colour, you need to put that in there. Just a little bit of that.
Okay, it's a bit of tweaking to be done on those tones, but
yeah, that's basically a few tweaks.
Okay, well, let us know, Lindy, how you get on, and we'd like to see the finished picture if you can when you've finished it. Okay, last couple from today. Let's get rid of us from Gabrielle. I would like to show you my latest commissions. I wasn't sure about the purple background. Does Colin think it works with the colours of the beagle? It's the client's favourite colour and I thought it would be nice to complement it. What colours would Colin have chosen? Feedback on both dogs would be highly appreciated.
Well, no, you followed what the customer wants. I wouldn't have made it as bright as that. I'd have tempered it a little bit. You still put the purple on if you wish.
Okay.
If I was doing it without that instruction, I wouldn't have done it at all. I wouldn't put purple in. But the fact you've done that and you've followed the customer's request, and then that's fine. I'm sure they'll love it. You've had a good job of the animal, but I've made it just a little less technicolour.
What colour would you have chosen for... Because you usually pick a colour within the animal What
Well,
colour would you
I probably, difficult to say, I probably would have used a bit of pink and a bit of grey with a bit of ochre. You know, I've used some of the colours that are in the animal.
Yeah.
Rather than a complete contrast to that.
Okay.
But, you know, if you're following, I mean, the customer is going to be thrilled with it.
Mm.
So that's the important thing.
Yeah.
So for whatever I say, you know, you can forget about. It's just that I just think it's a bit too technicolor. I don't like the background taking over from the animal.
Yeah.
It tends to do that when you get a picture like that.
Okay. What about this one over here?
That's very good. The only thing I would say is I wouldn't have that line right in the middle of and I'd got rid of that. I don't see the necessity of that, because had you continued with that dark ochre or terracotta-y colour all the way down, that would have set the animal nicely off against the background.
Is that because these are too light to, you know, there's a clear definition there, and it's a little bit harder to see where
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you're splitting the picture in half.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't like doing that. I would have either had it down or up. In this case, it'd have to be down. But if you come down very much further than that, you might as well not have it at all.
Yeah.
Which is what I would have done. I would have had it, that colour all the way down. Perhaps with a little bit of variation rather than just bland colour. It could have been a little bit of colour in it, a bit of tone in it.
Yeah.
Some of that light colour could have been included in it, you know, like a little foggy background.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Okay. Excellent. Well, there's a couple of things to think about in the future, and people watching as well. You know, it's all good advice and tips on these backgrounds.
Just one thing before you go, Steve. If you were looking at this animal that above, and it's really good, it looks nice, doesn't it? I would have perhaps picked something like that colour that's in the background there.
What there, off the curtain?
See, that's not bad. I would have picked that colour, and then I would put some of the ochre that's in, and I'd put that into the background as well.
So from the animal into that, sort of pick that.
You've got a starting colour. It's always nice when you've got a picture and you can find something in that surround that you can latch onto.
That's a nice picture, actually. It's a good expression.
It is.
So, fantastic. Okay, thanks, Gabrielle. Let's bring us back. And that is it for this feedback show. So thank you, Dad, for all the advice. And I hope everyone's found that useful. We'll be back in another few weeks with some more of your work, so keep it coming in. And as I said in the beginning, if you want to learn about becoming a member, then go to colinbradleyart.com, where you will get access to this service where you can get feedback and advice on your work. Okay, great. Thanks, Dad.
Pleasure's mine.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Stephen Bradley.
And I'm Colin Bradley.
Bye for now.